Well, hi everyone. My name is Darren, and I'm one of the marketing coordinators with BCIT's School of Health Sciences. And it is my pleasure to welcome you to this online information session for the Diagnostic Medical Sonography program. I want to say how happy we are to see you all, and thank you very much for attending our presentation today. And just before we get going, I wanted to mention that the British Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish Nations, including the Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, and Musqueam. And yes, very grateful to be on this beautiful land. Okay, we'll do the agenda before we move on here. We'll do welcome and introductions. We have one quick poll, then we'll go through the presentation and program overviews. We'll have some time with program advising, and then we'll do the questions and answers at the very end. And without further ado, I would like to introduce Heather Burke and Ken Markin, the program heads for the Diagnostic Medical Sonography program. Welcome, Ken.
Thanks, Darren. Next slide, please.
Okay.
Well, I guess we don't have a poll, do we? Didn't come up.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Let me
That's okay. That's
quickly
okay.
bring that up.
Not a problem. Well, welcome everyone. And my name is Ken Markin. I'm faculty and I share the program head with my colleague Heather, who you'll meet in just a little bit. Just want to tell you a little bit about the Diagnostic Medical Sonography program. As you know, we use high frequency ultrasound in order to examine different structures inside the body. So we can look at the internal organs in your abdomen or pelvis, like looking at your liver, kidneys, gallbladder, even your aorta. Or in the female pelvis, we can look at the uterus and ovaries, and the male pelvis, we can look at the prostate and scrotum. So all kinds of different soft tissues, even superficial structures like the breast or the tendons in your shoulder. We can even look at blood vessels in your neck or arteries in your legs or veins in your leg. We can even look at the developing fetus as well, looking at all the different stages that a baby goes through, measuring the different organs and looking at the heart. And to mention the heart, we can also look at the heart in the adult patient as well as the pediatric patient. So lots of unique things that we can do with sonography. And as a student, you will learn all the diagnostic problem-solving skills and team collaboration skills to give every patient the highest quality of care. So some fun facts about ultrasound. As you know, it's a diagnostic field. So we work as a team with radiologists, and we look at ultrasounds in the general side, for example, to assess and document our findings and report out to a radiologist. On the cardiac side, you may be looking at the heart, performing an echocardiogram, and communicating those findings to a cardiologist. So we can assess the anatomy and function of different organs and structures, and we incorporate all different types of human anatomy and biology because we are a diagnostic field and we use cross-sectional imaging in order to have a look at all the different structures inside us. And the other thing about sonography is that we are frontline workers. We provide direct patient care to patients, both in hospitals and private clinics.
Ken, would you, speaking of fun facts,
Oh,
would you be adverse to doing the poll right now?
no, not at all.
Okay, just before we get too far in.
Sure. Yeah.
It should be showing which of the following body parts cannot be assessed with sonography.
Yeah. Is it your heart, your lungs, your ankle joint, or kidneys?
Thank you. We'll just give a few seconds for people to get their answer in there.
So if you're paying attention to some of the things that I mentioned, let's see if you can get this correct.
Okay, let's share the results.
Yes, it is the lungs. So the air-filled lungs are things that we can't see. So unfortunately, we can't see through air-filled structures very well. So the lungs, that's not an area that we examine. However, you might be surprised to learn that we can look at the ankle joint. Once again, that might be something that we perform with sonography because we can look at fluid as well as soft tissue. And of course, the kidneys and the heart, I've already mentioned. So the correct choice was lungs.
Good job, 40%. Okay, thank you for that, Ken. I'll let you have control.
Yeah, no worries. Next slide, please. So a little bit about our program. So we have two separate programs and three options. So I'll start at the top here and tell you a little bit about our diploma program. So we have a dual stream option, which is 27 months in length. That's our longest option. And you learn both cardiac and general sonography as part of this program stream. Our general stream is 22 months in length, where you learn about general sonography only. However, that includes the abdomen, general vascular, as well as obstetrics and gynecology. And then at the bottom of the slide here, we have our cardiac advanced diploma, which is a 12-month advanced diploma option in cardiac sonography. And Heather will be speaking about that a little bit later on. But it's an advanced diploma, so you have to have a prior Bachelor of Science or Health diploma before you can take this short, condensed program. So with regards to the diploma program, we intake 36 students. Currently, we have seats for 24 dual students, that's cardiac and general together, and 12 seats for general only. Now, we are a cohort-based program, and everyone takes the same term together. Oh, one more thing I should mention is something that's new is that we actually have Indigenous seats as well. So one Indigenous seat in our dual stream and one Indigenous seat in our general stream, as well as an Indigenous seat in our cardiac advanced diploma. So with regards to our diploma program, the first three terms are on campus, and everyone takes a common first term, where you're taking all the different sonography courses, as well as some ancillary courses, both physics and anatomy and physiology. And you have a short clinical term between levels 2 and 3, kind of a short orientation introduction to clinical, where you get to dip your toe into the hospital or private clinical setting, so you get to see what sonographers actually do before you return to campus for your third term. And then finally, we have our fourth and fifth terms, which are our clinical rotations. And I should just let you know that a clinical rotation, although generally are within the Lower Mainland, you will have to do one clinical rotation somewhere in the province. So that could be in the interior or on Vancouver Island. So just a little bit about our cardiac advanced diploma. We take in 12 students every year, and this is a much more intense program for people that already have a degree or diploma in a health science related field. And the first and second term are between January and May, and it's full-time on campus with a mix of theory and labs. And then it goes to clinical in term 3 from June to December, with the same types of clinical rotations at different hospitals within BC. And what's different about ECHO is that it's not done in the private clinic. It's just done essentially within the hospitals here in British Columbia. And students will get a well-diverse clinical experience rotating through several different hospitals and facilities during their training. Now, I'm just going to turn it over to Heather now to continue a little bit more about our cardiac advanced diploma.
Hello, everybody. My name is Heather Burke, and I share the program head role with Ken. So I'll take over starting with the next slide, please, Darren. So the Cardiac Advanced Diploma program has slightly different prereqs than our regular diploma program does. And there's two options, either for the prereqs, either a Bachelor of Science. We recommend something in the healthcare field, such as kinesiology, biology, biomedical physiology, or a two-year diploma. So a two-year diploma could be it just has to be, we've changed this actually to a two-year diploma in any science or health related field. So it could be any, as long as it's 2 years minimum. If you have questions about whether your diploma or degree will count, just feel free to email admissions. And if they aren't sure, they'll run it by us to confirm. Next slide. So your choice on determining or choosing between diploma and advanced diploma will depend on two things. First off is your previous education and work experience. So for the diploma program, the prereqs are basically just high school, although we do recommend some post-secondary. For the advanced diploma, you need to have at minimum a 2-year diploma. The other thing, though, is going to be your career goals. So with the Cardiac Advanced Diploma Program, you will be fully qualified to write your Canadian and American board exams for cardiac ultrasound, but you will only be qualified for cardiac ultrasound. And so if you have any interest in working in general ultrasound, then you're going to want to choose the diploma program. But just if you're on the fence, the one nice thing about that advanced diploma program is it is a shorter program. It is only 1 year, so the tuition is less and you're out there working sooner. So you're making money sooner as well. Right now, our career outlook is looking very good. All of our graduates are coming out with jobs. Almost all of our graduates are working in the area that they want to be. So if they're from the Lower Mainland, most of them are getting jobs in the Lower Mainland. And I would say most people are getting work weekdays, but we also do have some weekend and evening shifts. So as a new grad, I would be prepared to work evenings and weekends. But as of right now, all of our grads are working in the field. Most of our grads will work in either the hospital or the clinic setting as a sonographer. So you can be an echocardiographer, which means you're specializing in the heart. You can be a general sonographer, which does everything but the heart. And after several years of experience, you can work up towards being a department supervisor. Other jobs in the field include the teaching setting, like Ken and I. In addition, we have clinical liaisons who work in the hospital and work alongside BCIT. So they're volunteer positions in the hospital, and they work with BCIT to help teach the student when they are in the hospital setting so that they can kind of help us look after that student. Other jobs include sales. So it would be working for one of the big companies, and clinical application specialists. So those are the people that go around to the hospitals and teach sonographers how to use their brand new machines. And there's lots of volunteer work in the field as well, such as volunteering for the Sonography Canada board. And I think that's it for me.
Yes, much appreciated. I believe Maggie, our program advisor, is going to take over for the next few slides before we get to the questions and answers. And I'll just see if Maggie is ready to take it away.
Yeah, thank you so much, Darren and Heather. Yeah, I'm definitely ready. So I'll just, my name is Maggie Ostrowski, as Darren just mentioned. I'm a full-time studies program advisor here at British Columbia Institute of Technology. So I'm now going to quickly review or provide an overview for you of the application and admissions process. Next slide, please, Darren. Okay, so let's discuss the application steps. So filling out the online application is actually relatively straightforward. Once an application opens up for each cycle, you can log in and review the online application. You can work on filling out your application at your own pace. It does not go to admissions until you pay the application fee. The date you apply does not have an impact on your application. You have the application deadline date up until that date to submit your application. So regarding the application process, you will firstly review all of the entrance requirements and the application processing dates. You will then upgrade if necessary. BCIT does offer upgrading courses in many subjects, and we in program advising can definitely assist you with this. Ensure that when you apply online that you have all of your required documents, such as transcripts, ready to scan and upload as PDF files. www.bcit.ca/admission will guide you through the step-by-step application process. Once you're ready to apply online, you can visit www.bcit.ca/apply, and the application fee for domestic students is $90 Canadian. The application process does take place entirely online. Therefore, you will need to convert all of your official transcripts and any additional documents that may be required to PDF files. So for the program details, the DMS diploma program has one intake each year, every September. The application window is October 1st through January 5th. So for example, for the September 2024 intake, the application window was October 1st, 2023 through to January 5th, 2024. And for the sonography cardiac option advanced diploma, the program has also one intake each year, as Ken and Heather mentioned, every January. The application window for this program is May 1st through August 31st. So for example, for the upcoming January 2025 intake, applications will open on May 1st, 2024 through to August 31st, 2024. And please do note that applicants to these programs must be residents of British Columbia. These programs do not accept applications from international students or applicants from other provinces. Okay, so let's now review the requirements for the diploma program. You can see the academic entrance requirements on the slide indicating the requirements of English, math, biology, and physics. There are both test and course options available for meeting entrance requirements if you require upgrading. And you can definitely contact us in program advising if you require guidance on this. The mandatory applicant questionnaire. This is your opportunity to highlight any non-academic experiences that you have that will strengthen your application. As well, it's an opportunity to highlight your skills and abilities. Ensure that you take care and attention when completing this questionnaire, as it is an important part of the application process. Next will be the Casper test. This is an online test. This test will utilize everyday scenarios, and a moral dilemma will be presented to the test taker. There's essentially no right or wrong answer, and you can't really study for this test as it's not a knowledge-based test. However, there is a full 12-section Casper sample test available online. You need to have registered for a Casper account to access this sample test, and the sample test is free of charge to use. There's a lot of really good information on the Casper site to help you prepare for the exam, so please do spend some time reviewing this information. So now we'll go over successful applicant profile. So no specific GPA is required for application. However, a strong GPA is preferred, and that this shows an aptitude for post-secondary coursework. But numerical grades are just one piece of the larger picture. Successful candidates are well-rounded, and successful applicants often possess consistently strong marks, a demonstrated interest in the field, and they have relevant and recent volunteer or work experience. So having a B+, for example, average is an advantage, especially in the entrance requirement courses, as well as having the math, physics, and biology entrance requirement courses completed within the past 5 years is also preferred. And volunteer or paid work experience hours involving direct interaction with people in a healthcare setting is preferred. And there is also a preference for this volunteer or work experience to be within the last 5 years. So for the admissions process, applications will be reviewed by our admissions department within 2 to 4 weeks after an application is received online. Complete applications are then sent to the program area for review. The program area will shortlist and select applicants after the application deadline date. And then BCIT's admissions department will send out acceptance letters on behalf of the program area. Acceptance offers are typically made from early March through April. And next slide, please. So now moving on from the, oh, sorry. Does someone have a question? Oh, okay, I'll just go on. So now moving on from the academics, I would like to let you know that BCIT is committed to supporting students in a holistic sense. We want you to succeed not only in your academics, but also outside of school. Some of the student services are available to you as a prospective student, and others will be available to you once you become an enrolled student. So here are some of our important student supports that I'd like to mention. If you're Indigenous, BCIT's Indigenous Initiatives Department is there for you to ensure a smooth transition into your first year. They offer peer-to-peer mentorship, a welcome gathering place, and provide clarification on Indigenous funding. Speaking of funding, BCIT's awards, scholarship, and bursaries are listed on our financial aid and awards webpage. I would like to mention that BCIT has a President's Entrance Award. Selection for this award is based on academic achievement, but also on volunteer and community service. If you want more information on this, please contact financial aid directly for more information. BCIT is committed to providing assistance to students with permanent or temporary disabilities. If you have been accepted to a program and believe you may need accommodation to be successful, I do encourage you to connect with our Accessibility Services Department. BCIT's Student Health Services is a health clinic located at the Burnaby campus. They provide medical care for current BCIT students year-round. Additionally, we also have a counseling and student development department available to help you enhance your educational performance and maximize your success as a student at BCIT. And as well, we do have a fantastic recreation services department who promotes, encourages, and enables the practice of physical well-being. We consider recreation an integral part of campus life and welcome all students to enjoy their services. So opportunities are available for laddering your credential at BCIT and at other post-secondary institutions. So following the diploma, for example, you could go on to the MRA Advanced Certificate and the Bachelor of Health Science at BCIT. There's also laddering opportunities with TRU for the Bachelor of Health Science there. And also at BCIT, potentially the Health Leadership Advanced Certificate, as well as the Bachelor of Technology and Technology Management. These are just some laddering opportunities that may be available to you following your program. So additionally, please don't hesitate to contact program advising if you have a question or are unsure of something. We can answer questions regarding entrance requirements, the application process, student resources, success strategies, program schedules, and many others. We are available to assist you on specific days via email or by in-person or virtual drop-in sessions. So please go to our webpage, bcit.ca/advising for our most up-to-date contact information and service hours. You can also find BCIT Health Sciences on our various social media platforms as noted on this slide. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, etc. And you can learn more about BCIT via our campus tours, the Spend a Day service, which is fantastic. Obviously, these information sessions that we're hosting now, and by speaking to us in program advising. Oh, okay, so it looks like we're at the Q&A. So sorry, I haven't been checking the chat myself yet, or the Q&A, I should say. So yeah, you can feel free to type your questions in the Q&A and we'll start responding to those now.
If I want to have an appointment with one program advice, how I can do that?
Oh, with program advising? Yeah, so
Yeah.
basically we have drop-in service available. So we don't do appointments, we do drop-in service. So if you go to bcit.ca/advising, you can view our different services there. We do offer the virtual advising 3 times a week and in-person advising at the Burnaby campus once a week on Wednesdays. So you can just, if you do the virtual, you can just log in on the specific times that we're available, and we will do a one-on-one virtually, and then the Wednesday session is going to be in person at the Burnaby campus in the morning. So you can definitely join us there.
Also, I saw that the program that I am interested is I have to apply on October to January because it's already for the next year is already full. So it means that if I apply this year, I'm gonna get I have to begin in 2025.
Oh, are you referring to the diploma?
Yeah.
Yep, I believe that's correct. So I don't know if Kenneth or Ken or Heather want to speak to this more, but yes, I believe it'll be the 2026 intake, I guess. What is that correct? Am I correct? I'm sorry about the dates. I believe I'm correct.
If you apply before, you have to apply like you never applied before, or all the papers that you submitted in the last application, you can use it. I don't know if you say, for example, your file is already open, I suppose, no? Or
Oh,
you
I
have
see
to
what
apply.
I think I understand what you're saying. Yeah, so if you apply for one specific intake and then let's say, for example, you don't get in, then apply to a following intake the next year, you'd have to do a brand new application. So admissions doesn't hold on to any of your old documents or anything that you previously submitted. So you would have to submit a whole new application package. That's correct.
Okay.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Mhm.
I'm Malalai. I'm medical doctor and I have a specialization in obstetric and gynecology. And I have also 1-year diploma in obstetric and gynecology ultrasonography. My question is that if I want to take general stream option program in BCIT, can I transfer my credit or is my credential will be accepted in BCIT? I passed credential evaluation with WIS World Education Service, and my credentials are certified here in Canada.
And I'm sorry, maybe I'm not clear. Do you mean transfer to courses that are part of the actual sonography program or for filling the entrance?
Right. For example, I went through BCIT website, and there are some prerequisites like biology, anatomy, physiology, these subjects and credits. I have my credentials are certified here by World Education Service. So my question is, can I transfer my credit to BCIT for the prerequisite programs or not?
It might be possible. It would have to be assessed by admissions and the program area. So, I mean, definitely feel free to submit all the documentation you have. Is your home country where you completed your degrees, is it an English-speaking country? Like, what country are you from?
No, I'm from Afghanistan. It's not in English.
Okay, so for sure the English would not be fulfilled then unless you've done like English studies or some testing here. But potentially for the science, the physics and the biology, I'm not sure if Ken or Heather might want to chime in if they've had experience with assessing applicants in your similar situation. But yeah, you could definitely apply with what you have, and then admissions will have a look and do some comparisons, and then they'll send it off to the program area, I'm assuming, for review. But if you're a permanent resident, you also might want to consider upgrading some of these high school subjects, especially if it's been a long time since you've done them, because I'm not sure if you're aware, upgrading of the high school academics is actually tuition free in the province of BC. So for any of you that are looking to do some upgrading, it might be nice to hear that you wouldn't have to pay for that. So BCIT, other recognized post-secondaries, adult education centers, and a lot of online learning organizations throughout the province do offer free upgrading for high school level courses. So that might be something to consider as well.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Do you think we should answer some of the Q&A questions live? I can just read them out if you'd like. Everyone could hear them.
Sure, if they're academic, I can definitely respond. And if they're about the program, I'm hoping that Ken or Heather will be able to jump in. But yeah, that should be fine.
Darren, just so you know,
Okay.
Ken, I can't see the questions because I'm not a host.
Oh, that is dreadful. I should have made you a co-host. Okay, let me.
I was wondering why no one was putting questions in, but that's why.
So sorry about that. Okay, I'm gonna make you and Ken, and you can get in there, but I will read some that are more general out for everyone to hear. I'm just gonna start with this one first. How many applicants do you get in recent years? Like, how many seats are available in each intake class?
Yeah, I can take this one, Ken, if you want. I would say we have roughly between 150 to 200 applicants every year, and then we accept 36. So, but yeah, for that, and that's for the diploma program. The cardiac advanced diploma has less applicants because it's got a higher prereq. So we usually get about 30 applicants for 12 spots for that one.
This one sounds pretty general too. For applying, it mentions prior work experience is preferred. As a high school student, is there any options for me?
It comes down to either volunteer experience or paid work experience. So as a high school student, as long as you have perhaps volunteer experience where you have some direct contact with people, so that could be volunteering at a care home. It could be working as a greeter in a store. That could be working for, Elections Canada in some capacity as well, or volunteering in some capacity where you're working directly with the public. That's what we're looking for. And so that can be volunteer or paid experience.
Let's do this one also. Can I still submit my application regardless of my Casper grade?
Not exactly sure what they mean by that. You can submit your application before you do your Casper grade, but you have to have your Casper grade in by the deadline. So, we'll have a series of test dates out and you have to pick one of those dates. So you can apply before your Casper's ready, but you still do have to do the Casper during the selection period. Hopefully that answers your question.
So it's not like you get a mark for the Casper, you just submit your answers?
No, the Casper will just send us the marks directly.
Okay.
So all you have to do is write the test and they will send us everything. You don't need to worry about the mark.
Thank you. Is there any challenge exam to get the license faster? Fast track.
No, I would
Okay,
say no.
good.
The program is 2.5 years for that diploma program, and you have to do all the clinical. You have to do the entire thing.
Excellent. How about do sonographers work on call?
I could take that one, and the answer is yes. So
Okay.
depending on the department or like hospital that you're working at, there are on-call services, usually overnight. And it's on a rotational basis. So if you're working in a department, there are usually a number of staff members, and so you might be on call, over a week or a weekend, maybe once every 6 or 8 weeks or something like that.
And I just add that that's for general. On the cardiac side, if you're thinking of the advanced diploma program, there is no on-call for cardiac, which is a nice kind of bonus to the cardiac side. There's a really long question here, Darren, that I don't feel like typing out all the answers. So do you mind if I read it and just answer it on the spot? It's the one about the Bachelor of Science. So it says, is a Bachelor in Science and Health eligible for the advanced program? That's perfect. So we're looking for either bachelor's or diploma in any sort of science. So it can be healthcare, it can be chemistry, it can be biology, anything that's a Bachelor of Science will count. Once you're in that cardiac advanced diploma program, you'll graduate as a cardiac sonographer. There is no way to fast track into general sonography. So if you decided you wanted to change your career partway through, you'd have to register for the diploma program and do the 22-month program. For both programs, it's not based on GPA per se. GPA is just a small portion of it. We really look at well-rounded students. So volunteer work, work experience, how much schooling you've taken, and the reason why you want to do in the application, there's a question, why do you want to work in this career? So we get graded on all of that. So GPA is just one very small section of it. And the last question in that one is the Casper. You have to write it once per year, is that right? Or once per cycle. So if you do the Casper for the diploma program and you don't get in and you want to try for the cardiac advanced diploma program, we'll use your Casper score for that. But you have to write it at least once a year. So if you don't get in that first year, you would have to redo it the next year. Yeah, Maria, it might be better if you type your questions in so that everyone gets a chance to. So just put yourself on mute and you can type your questions in.
Sorry about that.
Oh, that's good, Darren. Now.
Am I back? Okay,
You're back.
sorry. I'm not sure what happened there. That was odd. Sorry, I was just going to say after you answered the last question that this one seems similar. After graduating from the advanced cardiac sonography program, how difficult will it be to transfer to general sonography work in the industry, if desired?
Very difficult.
Yeah.
You would have to go back to school for 2 years.
Okay.
They're very different, even though they're both sonography, they're very different. They both require their own training. So you'd have to go back for more training.
This is an interesting one. We'll answer this. What was the grade percentage? What was the grade percent average of the students that were accepted last year? I guess you'll have to guess that one.
Yeah, I don't even think we could answer that because all we really do is we make sure you've met the minimum grade and then your application's accepted. And then it's really more, the grade is just such a small part of it that there really is no answer to that question because we look at the well-rounded, we're looking for work experience, passion for the field, that sort of thing. I would say as long as you meet your minimum, those minimum grades that Maggie told us about in the prereqs, go ahead and apply and you've got a really good chance. Hopefully you got a good chance. Yeah.
Excellent, thank you. To accept credit transfer from other program or other studies.
Okay, I think that makes sense. So we do allow transfer credits for certain courses. So For example, there's a communication course in the program. If you have a degree and you took a university level communications course that's equivalent to the BCIT one, it may be considered for a transfer credit. So what has to happen is you have to submit your grades, course outline, and then submit it to the communications department. They'll review it, and if they think that it's close enough to what they teach, then we'll allow transfer credit, and you can have that course dropped or waived, we call it. But we will not accept waivers for any of the sonography courses. So it's really just the courses such as communications, human behavior, maybe some anatomy if you've got an anatomy degree, but you'll have to take all the sonography classes.
I should know this one by now, but we're going to ask it anyways. Would it be recommended to take the advanced course after taking the dual program if you want to specialize in cardiac?
Sorry, I'm going to answer again. Ken, hope you don't mind me answering them all.
No, that's fine.
Definitely not. I do not recommend that because the cardiac advanced diploma, you'll have the exact same like degree and qualifications as you would from the diploma program for the cardiac section. So what I mean by that is if you're taking the dual program in the diploma program, you're going to graduate with a general and a cardiac. If you do the cardiac advanced, you'll graduate with just cardiac, but the cardiacs in both programs are the exact same. So the reason the cardiac advanced diploma is shorter, it's half the length, is because you're not doing the general. But the cardiac in both programs is the same amount of detail. So a cardiac sonographer, whether they graduated from the diploma program or the advanced diploma program, should have the exact same skills and qualifications in cardiac sonography.
This one, do sonographers work 12-hour shifts?
Well, here I can take that one. Sometimes it depends on where you work. For the most part, I would say sonographers usually are working a 7.5-hour shift. However, there's certain places that do have extended hours, perhaps 10 hours or 12-hour shifts in some facilities.
Hi there. Sorry, a quick question.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi, this is Dmitry. I graduated from Ukraine and I have a diploma in general medicine. The question is with regard to the advanced cardiac diploma. Do I have to have it to have my diploma reevaluated or reassessed, or can I just submit? It has all the marks, hours, everything on it on my supplement.
That might be a question for Maggie, because Maggie, do you know?
I'm so sorry. I do apologize. I was busy typing, so I didn't hear the question.
Yeah, Dimitri, do you want to ask again?
I graduated from Ukraine, and basically in Ukraine, and I have a diploma of a general practitioner. I was very interested in advanced cardiac program. I was reading on some of the websites that should I be reevaluating and my credentials or not, or could I just apply to the program and send it in PDF because it's written in Ukrainian and English in my supplement. There's more of a question whether should I spend extra money on having them.
Yeah, so you will need to, if you're applying to a program that has a post-secondary requirement such as the advanced credential, you will need to have an official education report like an ICES or a WES report. So like a comprehensive report will be required.
This is a very general question, so we can answer this one live. Is there a different CASPER test for this program than other BCIT CASPER tests for other medical tech programs offered at BCIT?
All the CASPERs, there's different levels of CASPER. So Ken, you might remember, but there's like a CASPER for bachelor levels, there's one for master's level. And so all of our health programs are at the same level. So each sitting is graded against each other. So you'll be competing against whoever's writing at that exact same time, but the level of the test is the same for any program within School of Health at BCIT, and therefore your CASPER score should be transferable to other health programs within BCIT.
And I could just add to that, like as Heather said, there are different levels, but you don't have to select the level. You just select our program from their list, and that's all done in the background.
Great, thank you. I'm just going to have to say that we have run to our time, and I put up a couple of important emails on the screen. Sonography@bcit.ca if you have program-specific questions that didn't get answered today, and program_advising@bcit.ca if you have admissions and other questions like that. If anyone can see any important questions that we'd like to answer for their group before we call it a night, that would be good. We could spare a minute or two, but if there's nothing specific.
I saw a good question that might answer, like people might be wondering, what has better job demand right now, cardiac or general? It's pretty even. Right now, every graduate's working. Some hospitals prefer dual trained, some prefer single trained. So on the islands, they prefer someone who either does cardiac or general. A small town though might prefer someone that can do both. So I'd say it's pretty equal. There's jobs everywhere. So I think I would, if you're trying to decide, I would go with where your passion lies.
Sounds like great advice, Heather. Thank you. So I just let everyone know that a copy of the slide presentation and a link to the info session video recording will be sent out to all registrants, and that might take a week or two to get that out, but I'll get that out as quickly as possible. And I definitely want to thank you all for being here today, and wish you all the best in your future in health sciences or whichever road you decide to take. And thank you so much from Health Sciences and BCIT. Thank you for all coming out tonight. It's a good turnout and some great questions. So thanks very much and have a good night.